Good evening. Welcome back to the Collegiate Star League, guys. My name is Toffees. You can find me at Toffees TV. I'm joined here by Gorgon the Wonder Cow, my intrepid co-caster, my partner in crime. And a big shout out to Asus as well as Twitch for making this possible. Twitch for hosting the tournament, as well as Asus for not only providing the prize pool, but also flying the top 4 teams out to DreamHack in Austin to compete for the LAN final. Speaking of flying out, this is the round of 8. Cornell versus Waterloo. The score is tied 1-1. The winner will advance. This is for all the marbles, Gorgon. What do you think?
I think it's Dead Dreams or Dream Catchers. One of these teams.
All right, I lost you there for just a second. Let's see if we can't get that fixed. But, so that should be a pretty good matchup here. The draft already underway and moving very, very quickly so far, and excited to see just which team goes all the way. Big Red Bears continue to go with that Oracle pickup. Faceless Void, Waterloo, OD. What do you think of the pickup so far?
I think it's weird how loyal Cornell are to Oracle. Like, he hasn't been the winning hero in the first game, and he wasn't necessarily the hero of note in the last game. Most of his false promises did little more than buy time. He's not a particularly successful hero either at the pub level or at the competitive level. In fact, he's one of the least successful, if not the least successful hero on this patch in terms of professional level play. They really love him, and I'm honestly just kind of shocked. There's no Death Prophet. Like, game 1, it made sense with the Death Prophet. There's great synergy there, but I'm not sure who else they're going to pick up to make up for that lack of synergy with the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes. So, guys, if you're just joining us, as we have had a lot of people coming through and going, as I think we're on the front page of Twitch this evening, this is the third match. Big Red Bears took the first one convincingly, very convincingly. Waterloo took the second and played very strongly as a team. Communication that we had not seen in the first game. Definitely executed at a whole different level in the second. And that really means it's anybody's game on this one. Now, do you think that there is a distinct advantage coming in as Waterloo off of the last win? Does momentum play into winning the next game? I don't know. You're a statistics guy. Do we have numbers on how often the team who takes game 2 takes game 3, or is it really just an open draw at this point?
You know, definitely not at the collegiate level. It depends on the individual people. So I'm a statistics guy, but I'm a statistics guy because I studied psychology, neurology, and social sciences in college. And so what I'll tell you is that there are definite personality types that do not do well facing adversity. They like to come in and they get confidence from prior success. And then there are also pull yourself up by your bootstraps personality types that will see a failure as an opportunity for further success, for fine tuning, and walk into a game 3 just more determined than ever. I guess it really depends which of those Waterloo is composed of and which Cornell is composed of.
Definitely. So we'll see which one comes forward. Doom gets picked up by the Big Red Bears. Sven, again, picked up here by Waterloo, and that was a very strong get for them in the last game. What do you think about how Sven pairs with Faceless Void, though? I'm curious about your thoughts on that.
Not super well, but we could just have amazing chronospheres like we did that last game coming out of Cornell, where the perfect edge allowed for the melee attacks into the chronosphere. Like, those exist. With that, the Sven will almost certainly be getting a Blink this game. Sanjosh and the Blink is the most common competitive build that we see. So the positioning shouldn't be a problem as long as the chronosphere is good. I like the TA pick here. There are no damage over time at all to deal with. Phoenix is going to be the response, so that's kind of a bummer for Cornell.
Phoenix gets picked up here as well. So how badly does Phoenix hurt that TA?
In team fights, pretty badly. I mean, Fire Spirits do a fair number of ticks, so you're looking at refraction being chewed up really quickly, even without the Supernova. With the Supernova, it's a pain as well. TA dependent on attack speed, and once again, the Fire Spirits really hurting that. And since TA normally goes for a negative armor compounding mobility build, she doesn't usually get a lot of agility items, meaning that those fire spirits impact her more heavily later into the game than a hero other agility cores that might go into something like a mantis style or drums that gives attack speed to mitigate some of that attack slow.
Okay.
TA doesn't get any of that mitigation with her standard build, so the Phoenix will be definitely an issue. But Phoenix has trouble with Doom, specifically because of Doom, right? So
Right.
it's a little bit of each.
Sorry, excuse me. The allergies for spring have hit me full force, so I'm trying to deal with that as best that I can. But it does mean some mic muting throughout this process. Big Red Bears ban out the Lion. We see the Tinker, interestingly enough, banned out by Waterloo. I guess worried about that split coming off of him. And what? I don't know. Do you think that was the right ban?
10 seconds.
The Tinker?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But maybe Cornell has a Tinker player. I don't know.
Maybe they know something that we don't. That's possible.
We saw somebody run a farming Tinker last week, right? Didn't that work out pretty well? So it's something that can be run. It's something that, especially at this level of play, where it's not professional and you have people with varying skills, and often the farming carries are left relatively unperturbed. A Tinker maybe could have been an issue, but I don't really see it as being the issue here. I think Big Red Bears are probably going to grab. Honestly, if Cakes played a better Slark, I would say they could pick up a Slark here, but we did not see a particularly strong performance out of that Slark last game. Something ranged might be nice to get away from the Chronosphere. Even a Silencer here could be a really good core, actually.
Oh, I could see that. I think that right now what Big Red Bears are really debating on is, do they get something that goes very late, or do they get something that's looking for some push orientation and trying to win the mid game? Because that Sven, that Void, that OD, they have so much transition on the side of Waterloo that the Bears really have to be asking themselves that, which choice do we make? They've got 8 seconds. They're going Clinks. So what does that say about, like, when you look at that lineup, what are you looking for them to execute?
15 to 25 minutes. They don't have a ton of push, but they have a lot of gank and a lot of team fight around that mid-game broken down laning phase where the Clinks gets a core item, the TA gets Desolator, and the Bounty Hunter has track. And after that, you start to ride track kills out, compounding your lead until you are able to just knock down towers with the Desolator and Strafe. For Waterloo, you're right. They have great late game. If this OD gets out to a good start against TA by some chance of luck or skill, then times will be hard for Cornell. But if Cornell get off to a good start, the momentum will definitely lead in their favor in a way that is not necessarily true of every team composition.
Waterloo is waiting for their last pick up here. Definitely a support pick, I would imagine, for them as they go forward. I think that they need... I mean, do they need more lockdown, or do they need some push from their support at this point? I mean, Vengeful Spirit seems like it would work pretty gosh darn well, this lineup.
Yeah, I think a Vengeful Spirit would be fine. Maybe even they go for a Slardar support. It's not something we see that often anymore, but with 2 Invis heroes plus a semi-Invis hero with the Templar Assassin coming out from Big Red Bears, the negative armor and the vision against Cornell would be really valuable. So if they have somebody that plays that secret style Slardar support, which apparently they don't, that would have been a really great pick. Witch Doctor's not a bad pick here. There's no reliable way other than Shuriken, right? They don't have a good way to knock Witch Doctor out of that ultimate.
Absolutely. So he's got the damage over time that he can use to put on the TA. He's got a lot of stun lockdown potential.
Well.
Say what?
He works with the physical damage as well. He works with the Faceless Void. Somebody's got to get a medallion here, though. I don't know who the natural medallion carrier is going to be for you, but you're almost all physical damage for Waterloo, either physical or pure. Unless the Faceless Void goes for an old school right-click build, which will actually make him more magical damage from the time lock. Little known fact about Void. But more than likely, he's probably going to go into that like Vlad's Blink Dagger build that we see more of an auxiliary build that has been popular as of late.
All right, let's make the transition here to the game. Oh, excuse me 1 second.
We're going to be coming to the game here. We got Waterloo on the Radiant side and Cornell dire side. Both teams vying for a chance at DreamHack. This is going to be the game decider, so thanks for tuning in here to the CSL sponsored by Asus. I'm going to bring it back to you, Toffees.
And like Gorgon said, guys, this is for all the marbles. The team that wins rides the road to DreamHack all the way. For the other, it is the end of the sidewalk, and they have to wait for their chance next year. Introducing Cornell for the dire side. Cakes in the mid position playing the TA. Solar, we playing the bounty hunter. We're going to have Praise the Sun on the Oracle. Embers, we playing the Clinks. And last but certainly not least, Goji on the Doom.
All right, and we've got Shakti moonwalking off that damage with Faceless Void. It is going to be Bairdum taking the Outworld Devourer for a roll. Penguin is going to be doing that voodoo he do so well on the Witch Doctor. Real Hobo is going to be throwing the hammer on the Sven, and Skirweedo is burning up on the
Pings all over the map as both teams look like they want to collect the runes. Praise the Sun. Going to be out in front looking at the top one. They're going to get a rotation in from Cakes to try and help secure it. Skrodo's got to be careful, though, as he is very deep right now, looking to do a little bit of scouting. Meanwhile, on the bottom, Solar thinking about coming out to try and get the steal. Is he going to take the risk? He goes in biz, sneaks out. The entire crew is standing on top of it, knowing what he's up to.
No,
Can he get the grab? He does not. OD grabs it. TA grabs it. It was close.
Yeah, it was close, and there was no risk because he could see that there were no wards.
Right.
No sentries, really, across the team.
All right, so we're going to see OD head back to that mid position. Solar going to go invis, doing what he do best, which is just scout about, try to keep an eye on things, maybe get a courier pick a little bit later.
He just saw that sentry go down in the mid lane, so I'd be very surprised if he rotates into this lane now.
So he knows that it's there.
And he is surprised me. Oh, he has 2 sentries on him.
Yep.
So he's just knock it down with the tango.
Was going to sneak back out there. Cakes takes a lot of damage there from Boredom and from Skrudo, both on standby. Going to go ahead and eat himself a... he just ate himself a branch, didn't he? That was funny. All right, so Solar going to move forward here. They should know that he has sentry wards on him at this point and try to zone him back away from it just a little bit.
Notice. He honestly, I don't think he noticed his sentry ward go down from Skirweedo.
Yeah, he hasn't tried to ward it.
In on it, but he's got a tango. He could get rid of that very quickly. I really like sitting the Phoenix here to help just shut down this TA. Like I had said, Phoenix handles TA really well at almost every stage of the game, and OD does not lane particularly well to TA. So putting this Phoenix here for dual lane, especially since the Bounty Hunter is probably going to be spending a lot of his time in this lane anyway.
Right.
So 2-on-2. Your OD is level dependent, but so is their TA. It ends up working out if your OD takes more of an advantage than he otherwise would.
Goji and Real Hobo going head to head down here on the bottom, as Real Hobo does have a little bit of backup from Bangman's going to go ahead and do the pull through. Doesn't get it. Oh, he got 2. Pseudo pull through. And meanwhile, in the mid, Birdham and Cakes finally, I was going to say left alone, but nope, Skrudo's still here, just hiding on the wings, and Bounty Hunter also on standby, so he's going to protect the rune up on top. Shakti's been taking a lot of hits, but so far doing okay in terms of staying relevant here. He's 3-0 and getting the XP that he needs.
Yeah, I will say that although I do really like the Phoenix being here and helping to shut down the TA, he's not doing a very good job of it. TA is sitting near the top, the last hits and denies. At first, it looked like it was going to work really well, and in theory, it should. But they just honestly haven't been applying very much pressure on the Cakes.
Is there a lane in particular that really needs to go well for either of these teams, or is it still pretty much just a...
I think mid needs to go
Okay.
really well for Waterloo. I think this OD needs to get off to a good start. He is extremely level dependent and momentum dependent at hero, and he is going to be that mid game. As you had mentioned last game, Sven comes into the game really hard, really heavy once he gets usually 1.5 core items up.
Real Hobo almost died. It looks like a double Stormhammer may have saved him, though. Now we see the bounce. Solar comes up with the right click, trying to get a slow, but does not have the shuriken. Can they finish the job? Hobo turns around. That may buy enough time for Goji to close the gap. He gets the right click, but it's not enough. Uh-oh, this is actually going to be a first blood turnaround. Goji left behind. No! Hobo went down first, so Hobo did give up the first blood.
They're going to give up 2 for it, though. I don't know that that's a trade necessarily worth making.
I do think
Solar gets away, maybe?
Can he dodge? Can he dodge? He gets away.
He dodges?
He
Okay.
gets away.
Well worth it if you don't lose the Bounty Hunter as well. Especially
Yeah,
since
but-
that knocked Bounty Hunter up halfway through.
I think that they could have survived without losing the first blood. It is what it is, 1-1. I think that
You mean Cornell could have?
Yeah.
No, the Doom had to dive the tower to get the.
No,
to
no,
get the
I think that the I'm sorry, Sven turned back to try and help out with the kill and ended up costing him his life, and that was the first.
No. The
Gave
Doom
up.
caught up to him. The Doom just caught up to him and Infernal Bladed him.
Fair.
I think.
Okay.
I mean, he got into the tower range. I think Sven, if he had continued to run, maybe he doesn't get caught by that Infernal Blade. But I don't think he turned around to help. I think he just got caught.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. Burnham's back towards the mid lane. Went ahead and grabbed himself a nice fill up on the bottle from the courier. Meanwhile, though, Cakes can go down and fill the way that she prefers, which is by grabbing the rune. So she'll grab that illusion rune, pop him out, potentially use it for scouting, head back to that mid position. Meanwhile, Solar still doing the rotation. He's level 2 right now, pointing Janata as he heads down towards that bottom lane, continuing his scouting and to try and just really ruin everything Bangwin's trying to accomplish on the bottom lane.
Okay, this Phoenix is starting. I started out saying how much I love this coming out of Waterloo, but I'm starting to really change my mind. This Phoenix is not getting levels. He's a level-dependent support slash semi-core. The Bounty Hunter also not getting a lot of levels, but as I said
He's got
last game,
catch-up
Bounty
potential.
Hunter, right, he's got a lot more catch-up potential. And he can just kind of soak very safely, whereas Phoenix cannot do that, especially into a Doom. Once Doom has a Doom, there's no escape for the Phoenix. Phoenix is also behind Bounty Hunter even in terms of experience, although very narrowly. So this mid lane, and they're not shutting down the TA. TA's still beating OD in last hits.
Right. Yeah, that's the trouble, I think. Goji, by the way, is going to be doing some harass down the bottom, uses that Scorched Earth to try and get some out. Heals back up. He's making life a little bit tough for Hobo, but Hobo is 28-4, so leading the last hit charge. Solar is going to come towards the mid. Wanted to go on Birdum, but Birdum fell backwards before he could get in range. Let's actually flip it over to the net worth chart, and you're going to see that TA is number 1, Clinks is number 2, OD is number 3. So the top 3 farmers are all on the dire side.
OD is catching up to the TA, which is good. That's what Waterloo really needs to have a good shot at this mid game, controlling it. But as I said in the draft, Cornell, once they roll around 15-minute mark generously, realistically, they could even be there around the 10-minute mark if they have really good lanes. They are going to start just running out and grabbing picks. And if Waterloo are not in a position to have the levels and items to handle that, they are just going to crumble. Absolutely. So they need to get they need to get control of these lanes.
Dire's got some really good vision up here towards the top area. Shakti doing okay, level 5, looking to get that Chronosphere up. Clinks at 5, Oracle at 4. Meanwhile, Solar is doing a good job of, contrary to what Phoenix is dealing with, where he's not getting much at all. Solar is not only soaking XP off of Bangwin, but he's setting up these potential kills, which he'll get right now.
Yeah, and TP is canceled. Sven on his own. The Doom is up. This is it.
Oh no, that's dead Sven.
Oh yeah.
That's
they don't even need to chase this if they don't want to. There's nobody here to deny, but they want the experience. And the AoE gold.
Solar takes the last hit.
You know.
Why
you got to
not?
get that double. Gotta get that double.
You want to get that track up, you know what I mean?
There's a cost for my services, Doom.
Burnham goes head-to-head with Cakes. Cakes taking some damage, goes away, goes ahead and TPs to safety as Burnham and Screw tried to go on him. Screw is still at level 3. Bounty up at level 4 now because of his ability to get these ganks and soak the XP, which Phoenix hasn't been able to. And I'm starting, like you said, worrying because Bounty even has catch-up potential in terms of his track gold, whereas Phoenix won't have that benefit either. All he's got is a giant egg, which looks a lot like his gold farm right now.
Yeah, and that's going to indirectly hurt the Witch Doctor as well, because the Phoenix not having levels means the Phoenix is not going to be contributing as much to getting wards, which means the Witch Doctor's not going to be able to get up a fast Ags or some guys like Ether Lens or whatever it is that they are going to put on the Witch Doctor, Glimmer Cape. None of these things are going to be available for the Witch Doctor because he's going to be buying wards because the Phoenix is so underwhelmingly positioned in this game.
Captain YOLO picks up a double damage rune, tucks it into his bottle, so look for him to want to use that ASAP. Burnham could be in some trouble, moves forward, is going to get pulled up instead of the imprisonment. Solar wants to move in, gets the slow. Janata, right click, Psyblade, Burnham, dead him, as he's going to get hit from behind, but no, he survives at the cost of his Phoenix. Well played, Phoenix, though Burnham is still being chased. Solar wants to keep going. He's got the Shuriken and the Janata up. Shuriken for the slow. Can he finish the job? No. So Birdham will manage to escape just by the hair of his chinny chin chin and the feathers of his poor support.
Yeah, and the tower mid is actually being chipped away pretty heavily here by the TAs, sitting on the double damage room and pretty happily just kind of pushing without any sort of punishment. This is exactly what I said in the draft. If these guys do have pretty good lanes,
Jesus.
they should be able to get out to a good start, but if they do, it's big trouble.
4 TPs. I'm sorry. So 3
One was
TPs to
canceled,
mid.
but-
1 was canceled, but they brought the whole damn cavalry in there to make sure that nobody dove. That double damage was making Cakes very confident the side blades were going to be able to put in some serious work. So the TP is definitely a necessary scare tactic. Meanwhile, look at this. Nice big juicy stack for Cakes. We'll go ahead and start to work on it with those side blades.
Yeah, this is trouble. They gotta know this is happening, right? You're
Right.
against a TA. The biggest part of a TA success is whether or not she gets this stack. It's not whether or not you do well in the lane, although that matters. It's not whether or not you get killed or get kills in the lane. It's whether or not your supports put up a 3 or 4 stack and you knock it down before the 11-minute mark. That is the benchmark for success in getting an early Desolator on TA. And Waterloo don't even have it warded. They don't have any potential. Like, if they walked over here with 2 heroes under smoke, they could easily kill this TA. She is down to 270 health.
I'm
A
surprised that
Chronosphere
she
would be
wanted to
enough
stay
to
this
secure it.
bold. So and then she
Well,
goes
they've
and
got a
gets
bounty hunter.
then she gets an
So-
invis into bottle, so she'll be happy about that. Finishes up what she needs to. Drums come out on Doom now. This is going very well for Cornell. They're up by 4.5k. They're up by 3,000 XP. Cakes has finished his boots with 700 extra to his name. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Shakti trying to stand his ground, but Clinks has been chipping away. He's got, so right now Void has nothing but the headdress and the poor man's shield. And on the opposite side, Embers is sitting on his Aquila as well as 500 gold in the bank and looking to make these pushes happen. Doom on the back, wants to move on Hobo. Hobo's going to get doomed, hit from the back by Solar. This will be another dead Sven. Can they get the deny? Nope, he goes down. Shakti does come out, gets the Chronosphere up, wants to go on Solar. Damage not quite there. Solar will get Astral in prison. Goji turns back around, finishes the Phoenix. Now goes for the escape, but Praise the Sun has arrived. Birdham dropping low. Goji gonna go, but Shakti gonna pay the price in return. It's 4 for the price of 1 and a bottom tower. There was a fire sale, and Waterloo was giving up lives at half price.
Yeah, a level 4 Phoenix in a team fight at 11 minutes is like a eunuch at an orc. Why is he even there? He's not doing anything. He should have just backed up. And he honestly, he had the opportunity to grab that deny as well. There was nobody near him, and he turned for it like he realized that he could do it too late. That hurts a lot.
Yeah.
That's 2 kills that they didn't need to give up.
Well,
Out of the 4 that they did give up.
Cornell off to a good start this time. Seems like they got their tilt under control. Regrouped as a team, came in and did this. Gold lead, by the way, at 7,500, XP at 5, and Cakes will lead the push down bottom. I like Cakes on TA. I think he did okay on the Slark, but his playstyle, his personality really seems to sing with a hero like a TA. For me, a little more than the hero like a Slark.
You know, Cakes is a player that has a really good sense of the ebb and flow of the game, has a really good sense of his positioning and how far he can push the envelope safely, which makes TA and Slark both great heroes for him, but he's not a player who seems superbly in tune with precise timing. And TA is a much better hero for players that might be off by, half a second here or there than Slark.
All right, we're
And
going
half
to
a
see.
second makes a big difference on the parallax for those sleep stuns, and also for the potential for like dark packs. But for TA, if you're half a second off on meld, it very rarely makes a difference.
All right, Cake starts to lean into the mid here. They want to take this tower down. Uh-oh, fight breaks out. They find themselves some OD. They smell blood. They taste blood. They want blood. And they will get it as Goji backs around, saves the Doom, doesn't even need it for the kill, and they'll start to push this tier 1 very aggressively. Meanwhile, up on the top lane, the counter push coming out from the Void is going to get sent backwards by Green. Cakes and Embers will just take the tower with no issue whatsoever. Solar going to put up the track to make sure he can keep an eye on what Real Hobo is up to. And we'll see Goji doing a great job of keeping his farm going full steam. Top 4 farmers on the Radiant side are 1, 2, 3, 4, all from the Dire.
Yeah, and they're going to go ahead and move into Roche here as well. They don't even need the Desolator finish because they, of course, have the meld, negative armor, and the mech or the medallion carrier is going to be Clinks. He is going for the medallion build instead of the Orchid build. I think that's perfectly reasonable. The only problem with that is that there's no... The medallion build isn't as good up into the Witch Doctor ult, right? But everything else there, it's fine.
So the tower is going to go down. They smoke mid, so we do finally see a smoke coming out here from Waterloo. They're going to progress towards the pit. Top tower has already gone down. Roche is going to fall. Cakes picks it up, and now they'll go into this engagement. Everyone is there. They find Cakes. Cakes will go down. Will they just abandon him, or are they going to try to fight into this? It looks like they'll leave him behind.
Oh, Sven, you're on the wrong side of it. He can't get it. Oh, no.
All right, so in they come. We see Cakes taking some damage. In comes Goji and Solar from the backside. Screwdoo goes down, got hit with the Doom. Burn him in some trouble. Cakes taking a lot of damage, but still standing strong. Refraction going to be up to save him. Embers gets healed by that mech. It's used well. Cakes dropping low. He goes, but it's 3 for 1. Hobo drops to make it 4. The last man standing is Shakti. He's burned his jump. Can they close the deal? He'll escape. He should be able to get away. Nope, the slows are there. This could spell the end. The Doom is out. The death comes for Shakti, and that will be the end of it. They lost everyone in that fight, and now they'll push down this mid lane. No contest whatsoever, and at the cost of simply a TA.
All right. I just
Ooh.
the spend there in the lead up to killing that TA with the Chronosphere was like the kid playing Red Rover facing the wrong way. Everybody else was towing the line, giving the Void the opportunity to put the Chronosphere on the other side of that line so that everybody could attack the TA. It would have been a perfectly landed Chronosphere, and Sven was like, I'm gonna go to the other side, and the whole fight collapsed because of that one decision.
That decision.
What a painful moment for Waterloo.
15 minutes
that
and 30
honestly
seconds.
could have been a game-swinging fight for them. It really could have been.
15 minutes, Gorgon, and a 14,000 net worth lead. So that's...
what did I tell you? 15 to 20 minutes. This is where we're looking to see huge advantage going the way of Cornell.
And that's exactly what we're seeing. Cornell playing to their strengths, keeping anyone else from getting what they need. Shakti with almost no farm to speak of right now. Real Hobo's got nothing but a set of drums, and he's putting himself in harm's way being this far forward. He does have to be wary of the potential to get engaged on here, but he's going to come in. Meanwhile, from the back, here they go. Just like we said, they go ahead, they make their move. The track is up on Scrudo and Real Hobo. The chase is on. They will manage to get the Radiant out, but at the cost, very likely, of this tower.
Yeah, there's nothing that Waterloo can do right now. They don't have any of their big ults up. The Phoenix is still only level 6, which is the obvious side effect of sitting your Phoenix in the mid lane for 7 minutes, but not stopping your opponent's farm. This is just, they made some good decisions, but they executed them really ragtag. And it is it is into the third act of screwing them over.
Waterloo has paused, said they're having some lag issues, so maybe that's what's causing the problem in positioning so far. But we'll see how that goes. Cornell giving them as much time as they need. It sounds like they have some lag problems as well. Hey guys, we got lag problems. Yeah, we do too. As both of these teams want to make sure that they have the best case scenario set up for them to push through to DreamHack. We'll take this pause real quick, guys, to talk briefly about some of the stuff going on the website. We have some YouTube videos posted made by college students involved with the CSL. There's a contest to win a gaming laptop for first place and 2 monitors for second and third, all given to us by ASUS Republic of Gamers as a thank you for being involved. And if you go there and watch the videos, vote for the ones you like with your views, winner gets that gaming laptop. It's a pretty cool prize, so make sure you go there and support. Also, if you are into engineering, programming, that sort of tech stuff, I don't understand it, but if you're one of those people that does, head over to cstarleague.com/Twitch and sign up for the internship. Basically, Twitch needs engineers, and they are working with CSL to award 3 internships to Twitch for, I believe it's for the summer, off of the C-Star League. So if you go to the website, you can apply for those specific positions there. Really great opportunity if you're looking to break into gaming, and a internship that will very likely have the potential to convert into something a little more awesome. So check those out. Go to cstarleague.com. And a big shout out to Asus and Twitch for being a part of this year's Collegiate Star League. If you're interested in playing next year, all you need is a club. There's instructions on the website on how to do it. You can go there, learn how to create a club, learn how to get the school to sanction it, and then enter your team in the CSL for your share of the scholarship funds and the potential to attend a LAN just like the top 4 teams here will as they fly to DreamHack in Austin come May 5th. All right, looks like both teams are ready. Let's get this game back underway in the grand final of this Ro8 best of 3. That grand final just sounds so cool. Winner goes to DreamHack, and right now, Cornell can smell that Austin City air.
Yeah, I'm sure Cornell has their Aerosmith play Dream On as they walk off this game. They are getting very close to securing DreamHack, but we've seen a lot of CSL teams get 2 points like this. Very close to a victory and just get overconfident.
Yep.
Throw it away. They don't even have a Rax yet. While this is definitely their game to win, Desolator fresh out on the Templar Assassin. All of these fights have been won without the Desolator.
Yeah, that's
now
crazy.
You've got that negative 15 armor coming out of that Templar Assassin.
Boom.
It's a big problem.
Yeah.
But you know, a couple of oversteps, a couple of misplays, and a good Chronosphere combo.
Praise the
Waterloo
Sun might be in a little trouble here. Shakti finds him. Praise the Sun going to run for his crew. His crew will back him up, so he'll get away, and Shakti going to have to leave. It's actually a nice play by the Oracle, knowing worst case scenario he gets caught out if there's a gank or something waiting here in the wings. Keeps his team safe on the push, and now we have an engagement as Real Hobo works around, goes for Goji. Doom is out and available. The Chronosphere is going to catch Goji. Nice ulti from the Penguin, hiding in the trees. Egg's going to come out as well. Goji goes for distance. They try to move away from that ultimate, turns back around. Goes on Shakti, turns back on Real Hobo. Real Hobo in some trouble, hit with the track. Gonna get Astral imprisoned to buy a little bit of space, but will it be enough? Burnham in some trouble. He's gonna go down. Doom comes out on Real Hobo. Make it 4, baby, as Phoenix once again, the only person on his team to survive. Waterloo, Waterloo is gonna have to wait till next season as the boys from Cornell bring them hell and push on to the round of 4. Can they finish the game here? Are they going to take a little longer to do it? So far, things look great as their gold lead has cracked almost 20,000.
And they've got that negative armor. There's really nothing stopping them from taking at least a melee barracks here. Also, they know that all of their opponents' ult are down right now, right? So why not? The nice thing about Cornell's draft is that they are not cooldown dependent at all. They don't need to fight while any specific spell is up. So the second Waterloo either win or lose a fight, it is game on for the next 90 seconds or so.
All right, Goji gets hit from behind. In comes the engagement. They want to try to make a move on him. Hobo is there as well. Cakes wants to fight. Laser comes out. Goji drops down. Astral Imprisonment will buy some time to move on Cakes, who might be a little too far forward. Solar from the backside goes on Screw. Penguin into fight as well. They lost Cakes during that exchange. Solar did manage to get 1 pick off. He also picked off the Witch Doctor to make it 2. But now he's got to run for the hills as his hubris has put him in harm's way.
Here comes the sun, do. You better run. It's Solar.
He does have. They did dust him. He should die. He'll die.
He grieves too early. If he had saved that grieves until the dust there to purge it off, he would have lived.
You know what? But he bought enough time that Embers went ahead and just pushed the mid tower.
You know, because why not?
I mean, that's what he was doing. He was like, all right, let's buy some time, do what you guys can do. Embers went ahead and pushed and got the kill, and now he's going to farm the bottom lane. So gold lead pulled back ever so slightly, but not enough. Still a 20,000 gold advantage at 19 minutes. XP at 10,000. Things looking pretty gosh darn good.
Yeah, this is the most dominating lead we've seen tonight, and game 1 was pretty rough for Waterloo. Waterloo not really syncing up this game like they did last game in terms of coordination. They made, once again, a couple of what I think were smart calls, but poorly executed. Their Witch Doctor's only level 7. Their Phoenix only level 8. The lowest level on Cornell is a level 10 Oracle. He almost has his second level ult.
It's not often we see CSL games where one team has a 1,000 gold per minute advantage on another team. Uh-oh, this could be bad for Scroto. He gets spotted out. Looks like TA wants to try to go, but Cakes has to be careful. Wisely decides not to pursue past the high ground as the rest of the team was waiting in the wings. Dyer with good vision management here for the bottom push. Looks like that's what they might be considering. Got a little while left on the Roche, so Oh, we're looking. What is Waterloo gonna do here? Do they smoke and try to get a pick off? Do they stop and stand the ground for a push?
High ground defense. That's what they have, right? They've got big AoE combo. They've got Void, they've got Phoenix, they've got Sven Stun and God Strength into the Death Ward. So this choke point, this is their miracle zone, right?
Right.
That is...
Mid-sentence, we lost ya. See if we can't get you back. That should have brought you back.
All right. Well, what I was saying is that this is their miracle zone, right? That's like the choke point on high ground defense is their 1980 Olympic men's hockey team moment. It's the only way they win this from behind.
So are you saying Cornell is a bunch of communists?
Well, you know.
If the shoe fits.
It's all not the good old Midwest charm from where I'm from.
Shakti jumps away as he got caught by the Clinks, forces him back. A measure of just how strong they are right now. Clinks, by the way, also with the Desolator, picked up that Emblem of Courage. And 2 Desolators. You think it's overkill, or does it work for this lineup?
I think it's completely unnecessary, but whatever, it's working for them. They have so much gold lead that without that Desolator, the Clinks still has more net worth than the Sven.
Yeah.
So even if the Desolator did absolutely nothing, which it still gives damage even if the armor reduction isn't stacking because they're attacking the same target.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it did absolutely nothing, the Clinks would still be ahead, though. You know, whatever, you know.
Right. The Cornell gold advantage has come to a point where they're going to start putting their extra gold in Panama to protect it because it's just gotten out of hand at this point. So,
oh wow,
Waterloo
we're gonna see a couple names from the CSL on that list.
Waterloo desperately trying to get their hands on those papers to make sure they can figure out how to stop this gold discrepancy as Hobo farms as much as he can. He's got the Sanj, he's looking for the Yasha, but it's a bad sign when that's all he's got right now. Bad sign also is Shakti, who got picked off. The jump is out. Chronosphere to buy himself some space, and it may be enough, but to have to use that defensively to escape. It's down for 100 seconds. I mean, it's like throwing blood in the water.
Yeah, they really need that Chronosphere to defend this high ground, too. I'm not sure that they can do it without a good Chronosphere, unless just Cornell line up and fanny over for a big Stormhammer, which I guess would be the equivalent, but the likelihood of that is about the same likelihood as one of them playing Tidehunter and just ravaging for no reason.
Yeah, they'll go ahead. They'll get the Roche. Easy Aegis, push to the high ground, sigh.
Yeah, they can still throw, but
yeah, but you never want to be in a position. You never want to be in a position where your win counts on the other team failing miserably, right?
Not just failing miserably
like 5 times.
Right. I would say it would take 3 miserable fails before Waterloo were in a position where they're able to go out and take fights around their opponent's tier 1s, and then 1 more miserable fail for Waterloo to be in it. So we're about 4 big fails away from Waterloo being serious contenders in this game. And remember, Waterloo have good late game, so if we've got 4 big serious fails, things can come back. But
so the question is it possible for Cornell to be too big to give up those losses? They're going into the high ground. This is the moment of truth. Cake's going to go ahead and work that Desolator. We see a jump forward by Pop Style. He was feigning Chronosphere but did not have it. It worked, though, as Cornell fell back just in case.
Yeah, they are going to take it easy here, which is smart. Remember, those big fails are going to happen at the hands of a Chronosphere. Mm-hmm. They probably don't know exactly when Chronosphere is back up, but they realize it's coming back up soon. It is up now.
Cakes blinks to disjoint, but still gets
non-disjointable.
Sorry, non-disjointable. But he blinks to a point where it's not going to cause bouncing issues.
Exactly.
So that works. It's a one-time stun. They think about going to the high ground with the next wave. They've already chipped this down. The chip can continue, by the way. Cake's also sitting on a Yasha as if it's not tough enough. The AC finished up on Goji. The amount of armor reduction this team is presenting is just insane.
Yeah, they're going to siege the tower. Looks like we've got a fight brewing. This could be the last fight of the game.
Cakes is going to get Astral in prison, jumps away right away. They're playing very careful. Cornell, very aware of the statistics that we just discussed and not willing to give up even one of those stupid throws. Gold lead 2,000. Things are really 20,000. I'm sorry, really looking like it is time. All right, here they go. Going to the high ground. Cakes wants to make a move. Still with the chip. Four staff comes forward. Waterloo gets up the void. And it works. Solar dropping low, but not low enough. Gonna see the ultimate come out from the Witch Doctor. Moves on Cakes. Cakes taking some damage, but he backs away. The egg goes off, but it doesn't do quite enough. It kills the bounty hunter. Goji gonna get stunned. Hobo dropping pretty low. Not gonna die though. Goji taking a ton of tower damage, and that will cost him. That's a double. BKB caught run by Embers. He's got to back off. That was a great plays for them.
All right, that choke point, man. It's like going right back to 1980, friend. We are there and we are watching it. That's one. That's one big screw up. That big screw up was worth about 2,000 gold. So 1/11th of their deficit.
It was no miracle on high ground, but it was definitely a start.
It was definitely a miracle. Don't take this away from them. They played really well to get away from that.
Penguin's going to throw up the cast, going to get no bounces, and now Praise the Sun going to back away with Embers. And Waterloo definitely playing like they can still win this, and I'm proud of them for that. I like to see that spirit, and so far it's working in their favor. Birdham has finished up a Moon Shard, so he'll carry that with him. You see Void going to the Secret Shop. He's going to get himself a point booster to get a little bit of extra stats at this stage of the game, a must-need. And now we'll see the push forward. Cake's going to lead the charge. They really want to take this mid-down.
Yeah, anytime Waterloo engage in a fight in which they don't lose a building or any heroes and they take kills, that's like the best fight they can do.
Cakes. Aegis is popped. Ember's staying committed to pushing onto the racks. This is 100% objective gaming coming out from Cornell here as they continue to push in. They get the melee racks and they back away. So playing very carefully, making the right choices, not forcing for kills, but forcing for push. Meanwhile, TA is going to head towards the bottom, meet back up with the crew, and decide what they want to do here. That melee rack's loss and that tower is going to be really a huge thorn in the side of Waterloo.
Yeah, this is starting to be it's not just a tower, right? It's a racks too. That's another lane of melees. There's no AoE clear other than the Sven. Which Sven is good, but he's not good enough to handle 2 lanes of supers while his team is wildly underfed and his opponents are pushing with double desolators. Right? This is just not a good position to be in for Waterloo, to say the least.
Waterloo says we don't want to be in a bad position, so we're going to put ourselves in an aggressive position. Pops the smoke, heads out in front. Void's got the chrono to try and make something happen, but they're going to be walking uphill into whoever they run into. Shakti is going to turn the corner. No one broke in. Embers actually walked out of what could have been a really tough situation for him, and the smoke will come to naught. That could have been bad if they had caught Embers there, or bad for Cornell for just a moment.
Yeah, it still can be bad, right? They are going to smoke up. If they engage here into a chronosphere, into the whole shebang, yeah, it could always be bad for Cornell, but it's just really not that likely to. In any situation where it looks like it might be bad for Cornell, they are doing a really good job of just backing out immediately, resetting and coming back in. They're being very patient.
Yeah. And you know what? I think in this situation, first I want to say it's rare that we see in CSL at this point in the game patience exhibited by the players. And really it's to Cornell's, it speaks to their team play and their control that they're able to do this, and they're playing very methodically. They see the end of the road and they're making sure that they get there the right way, and I really respect that about what I'm seeing from them right now. Also, a big shout out to Waterloo, who has a never say die attitude, knows that they've worked their butts off to get here, and continues to put up a very respectable fight. That second game was incredible gameplay by them, and this one I feel like they just got caught.
Paused again.
Paused. So lots of lag coming from both sides here, but I feel like they just had a couple of, I don't want to say miscommunications, but slightly less clean engagements in the early game that just let the Big Red Bears roll out of control. That Trackle got online, Doom got a couple of good kills, TA got a couple of good kills, and it wasn't that Waterloo was feeding necessarily, they were just not winning the fights or playing them as well as Cornell was, I would say.
They lost the lane. So like they drafted weak lanes, they drafted heroes that did not handle their opponents at all. The one hero that they drafted as a specific counter, the
Mhm.
Phoenix to the PA, they did the smart thing and sat the Phoenix to give OD an advantage in the mid lane,
Mhm.
but they didn't do it aggressively enough and actually ended up kneecapping their own OD, which is a big problem. And the Phoenix didn't rotate out that lane soon enough to get levels himself, which it's a domino effect. Like, it comes down to the draft, it comes down to the laning phase. They just have been honestly playing from behind since like 45 seconds into this draft.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that this, like we said, this speaks well to Waterloo's potential as a team. I think over the next year, we should see them continue to grow. As from what I understand, it seems like Waterloo Esports is a strong organization to have two teams competing for DreamHack spots on the same night is a pretty big boon to their existence as a club. That said, Cornell just feels like they have a little more experience playing together as a team. And it's been very, very effective. They understand their heroes. They understand how to play together. And honestly, Cakes on this TA has definitely shown he likes this hero. He knows this hero. He's comfortable on this hero. And he's playing it very, very well. Solar also doing a great job on that Bounty Hunter, being very effective, making sure this team is getting the maximized potential gold as well as the maximized potential vision from everything that he's done in this match so far.
Yeah, and the patience from Cornell. It just continues to maybe be overkill, but hey, you know what? It's good practice for when they're playing against opponents with slightly smaller leads that have maybe slightly better game sense or coordination or aren't quite as tilted, right? Cornell are playing this game as though Waterloo were not 20,000 behind. They're playing this game as though Waterloo were only 10,000 behind, and I think that's really smart. It shows that they're not just focused on this game, but they're focused on the big prize in DreamHack.
It looks like both teams are ready. The G is called. The push for the last bastion of hope. That is the bottom rags as Waterloo prepares a defense. This is for all the marbles. Cake's going to lead the charge in. Starts to put in the chip damage. Gets hit with the Storm Hammer. He's going to back away, though, and this is what they were doing earlier that was so effective for them. It's just letting Cakes go in, letting Cakes chip, and if somebody engages on her, making sure that they pay dearly for it. So creep wave coming. We'll see him do it again. I mean, every time he goes and chips, he takes, 8% of the tower. If they can't stop it, why not just keep doing it?
Yeah, honestly, they do have two Desolators as well. They could just send the Clinks in to knock down these ranged barracks in the other lanes. It wouldn't cost them anything.
All right, here comes the engagement. We see a double stun layered. Cake's taking a lot of damage, drops backwards, gets hit with the noob.
Nice.
Goji taking a ton of damage. He's got to get back too. Embers from behind moves in on the Witch Doctor, manages to stop him from getting the kill. Out comes the ultimate from Shakti. Can he kill Embers? The egg is going to get used. That should be enough to finish Embers off. Embers will go down. So they trade 1 for 1 and make that 2 as Shakti moves on Goji. Go taking a lot of damage. The laser beam is going to be there to help. Goji will go down as well. And they give up 2 for not a lot of gain.
Yeah. Like I said, any fight where they don't lose a structure and they take opponents' heroes, that's a good fight.
Yeah.
For Waterloo.
Solar comes through, puts up the track on Scroto. Gonna go ahead and fall back now that happens. Cakes goes straight back to farming and says, all right, when in Rome, get back to farming gold.
That's, once again, it's the right call. They need to catch up. This is the one opportunity they're going to have to pop out of their hidey hole here. And honestly, we've been talking about the patience from Cornell being impressive, but the patience from Waterloo is even more so. They're playing from behind. The pressure is on them, and any time that they choose to engage or to not engage could be the DreamHack losing choice, right? The last moment of chance.
Yeah.
And they've been doing their pitches really well playing from behind. So yeah, their early game didn't go so hot. Yeah, their draft kind of fed into that a little bit, but we are really seeing now, as they play from behind, some of the aspects of their gameplay that brought them to be in the top 16 in the first place, or excuse me, in the top 8.
Absolutely. Hobo making most of that gold gain that he's got. He picks up a San Joshua, about to finish up an AC as well, so that'll be very, very helpful for his team once that gets up and running. Still a ways for Penguin to go before he gets that Ag Scepter up, though he's been getting full duration on that Death War. It's been very well played. They're not doing a lot to stop it. In that last game, Klinks tried to burn him down, but couldn't get him before he put in so much damage on the Death Ward that it forced Big Red Bears back. And that's really been the trouble, is that Chronosphere Ward combo has just been very, very difficult for Cornell to deal with.
Yeah, that, by the way, was over the last couple of minutes, we're looking at about a 5,000 net worth swing,
Yep.
which is 25% of the overall lead. Now, the fact that we're still looking at a 15,000 net worth swing, still, if this were a pro game, give Cornell like a 98% chance to win or something. I don't have those figures up in front of me, but I've looked at them enough to feel pretty confident in that call. But it's not a pro game, right? And the CSL having a 15,000 net worth lead at 30 minutes into a late game draft, by the way, that'd probably only be like an 80% win rate, maybe 75. So it's not like Waterloo absolutely cannot win this if Cornell don't finalize the deal, right? They've still got to dot the I's and cross the T's.
A little confusion from Waterloo as they split up there. Void gets seen, jumps to the high ground, and the smoke is wasted. Basically, they got to here. Void kept going straight up. They pinged the mid and said, let's go kill the Oracle. But nobody could. Just smoke broke and they couldn't do anything. So they just had to back away. Smoke wasted. They had a chance to get a really good pick off there. It does not work out. I mean, let's be honest. We look at the gold lead. We look at the potential for comeback from Waterloo. And we just have to, you have to be honest, Cornell has so much buffer zone, right? They have all 3 tier 1s up, which means even if they get team wiped, there's a good chance they can come back natural without having to use buybacks before really being threatened in any way, shape, or form. Aegis now gets picked up on the TA to complement her as if she doesn't have enough, and they'll move down towards the bottom lane to try and finish the job that they couldn't start on the last push.
Yeah, the only reason they were unable to succeed in that last push is because TA is being the frontline man, and she is vulnerable to a stun combo, right? With the Aegis, there's really no threat of that. She's going to be able to knock down this tower. Maybe they take the Aegis, but then the fight breaks out. And TA's still there. There's also a Cheese, by the way, hanging out probably on the Doom, excuse me.
Right.
That smoke really needed to be used to defend the Roche pit. Waterloo have a pretty good Roshan area fight, and Cornell don't, right? A lot of AoE coming out of Waterloo. Choke point could have been a really good moment for them.
All right, so here we go as they look towards the high ground again. Cake's thinking about playing the chip game. Doom on standby with the Doom, ready to go. Cake says, all right, I'm actually going to go push the mid lane, try to get them to split off just a little bit and let us put our work in. Now, we talked about that in the last push. Why not send a hero in, maybe the Klinks to push out of range racks, force them to not defend as a group, and TA's just going to go ahead and do that so she buys a little bit of space for her to return back towards the bottom. Start the push here. I'm waiting for it. Refraction charge is going to go up. Cakes wants to do it. In comes Birdum for the contest. They go with the Astral Imprisonment. And Cakes will just continue to chip away.
He's actually not getting the tower yet.
No, it's a war of attrition.
Could be. Like, he's got the Aegis. There is a such thing as being too patient.
Right.
Right? And we do sometimes see teams lose advantage because they're too patient as well.
Right. You know, Xerxes didn't stand there and stare at the Spartans for 6 months. He just manned up and threw some bodies into the cavern.
No, to be honest, in that particular case, maybe standing there and starving them out would have been a better plan.
No. There were Athena armies on the rotation. He had to push through the pass. Everybody knows that.
All right, but back to the game here. Cakes, I'm not sure why they're standing here before they push up these other 2 lanes. Once those other 2 lanes cross the threshold, mid just now crossed the threshold. Like, they could be doing tower damage. That mid threshold is about 1,300 range instead of the 800 of the other 2 lanes. So when the creeps get even farther away, but relatively close, once they pass about this cluster of trees, you can start pushing another lane.
So it looks like
and do damage without backdoor protection.
So they're going to let Klinks go up towards the top. He's not going to show himself. He's going to wait for the creeps to die naturally. And he will do what you suggested earlier, which is sneak in, try to make the push there on the tower. And meanwhile, we're going to see Solar come in. He goes ahead and puts up a track on Pop Style so they can keep an eye on any engagement. And just like that, Embers takes the range racks.
Yeah, that's smart to do. And now they're back up to their maximum net worth lead that they've had. There's just not a lot of gold coming into Waterloo right now because the supers are not worth very much. They're all clustered around one avenue of gold, so they're only getting like 7 creeps every 30 seconds for their entire team. It's not a lot of farm.
I mean, at this point, honestly, with the Aegis, Cornell can throw their bodies at this tower. If they get a tower and a Rax and lose 5, they still, I think, win the game.
Yeah, I agree, but I understand not wanting to risk losing
Right.
5 and an Aegis and a cheese. And their high ground defense is good on Waterloo, as I'd mentioned earlier. But at a certain point, you just have to be willing to sacrifice the TA. She's got Aegis. She can always blink out. Just have her go up there, have them blow
Everything
as
on her
much
before
as
she
they can.
BKBs, die with Aegis,
Right.
BKB on return. Yeah, I mean, but you got to make that choice. You got to make the play here at some point because right now it's a bunch of tiddlywinks and nobody's going to come out ahead.
Right now, they could go up. The other thing is they seem to be waiting for their lane of creeps to be there, but backdoor protection is off right now. There is no backdoor protection because this mid lane is crossed that threshold. It's much farther out in the mid lane. If you're watching that equilibrium, you do not need to wait for your own creeps in this lane.
All right, Cake's going for some chip. Backs away again.
Like if they're gonna play
Here
this
they
game
go.
this way,
No, never mind.
Okay.
I thought they were going.
No,
Yes, they
they're-
are. Okay, Embers makes a move. They get a pick off. Buyback on the Phoenix right away. Puts in some work on the tower. They're going to play objective-based gaming. Lean into it. Big Chronosphere catches a lot. Egg's going to come out. Damage for real on Embers, dropping very low. Cakes dropping very low. The tower goes down. Cakes will pop the Aegis. BKB will be available when he comes back up. Real Hobo dropping very low. Goji in. Cakes actually used the BKB already. I didn't realize that, but they lost the OD. Buyback from the Sven. Goji on the push. Gets a shot with the Inferno Blade. Moves on Hobo. Cakes wants to fight, and they decide to take it deep instead of working on the objectives. That will cost them as they lose 1. They lose to Witch Doctor, but Cakes will be in some trouble here. Now the chase is on for Goji. Goji gets stunned and dropped down. Cakes on the run, gets hit by Pop Style, trying to slow him. Astral Imprisonment boxes him out. They're going to lose 4 for a tower. You know why that was,
but
Corgan?
You did just say if they throw 5 and get the tower.
You know what? I said if they throw 5 and get a tower and a Rax. They dove back behind the Rax. They tried to
They
kill
did
heroes.
get the range barracks mid, so consolation prize.
That was already down. It was already
fine.
down.
Like they're not in trouble
Yeah.
right now. They actually have more net worth advantage now than when they started that fight.
Yeah,
And now
well,
it's-
you know what I say to that? I say they could have got melee racks and Korean soup, or pho, if you will.
Oh, what?
Oh, it's pho.
Okay.
I'm just saying that they could have done it and pusha.
If they're gonna do this strategy, oh, Solar's gonna die here too potentially. No, Oracle's gonna try to save him. That's a big angry sun over his head though, and it looks like he's up as soon as it comes down to a close.
So he's actually going to get away as they're angry at Oracle. Make a move on him. Oracle in some trouble here. Popstyle can't really afford to chase much deeper though, and they will just go back and get themselves the tower. But glyphs all around, man. That's just the tricky. They couldn't even get the top tower down. Well, they'll get the bottom, but after all of that, they get a tower, a tier 1 tower.
They got Bounty Hunter too, and remember Bounty Hunter's value. Actually, they didn't get into the AoE. They let him go. They should have just chased the Bounty Hunter instead of chasing the Oracle. The AoE gold that they could have gotten from that Bounty Hunter would have been in the thousands, probably. Like, honestly, legitimately worth more than an Oracle kill in and of itself. Just the AoE gold. Because of the sheer value that goes into that from the team. I mean, Bounty Hunter himself has a net worth that's greater than either of the 2 supports. In fact, both of the 2 Waterloo supports combined is Bounty Hunter's net worth. So, yeah, he almost has the same net worth as the offlane Void. Like, that AoE gold would have been tremendous for them. Even that being said, they lost the tower. They did manage to defend, but they've got no more room for error. This Waterloo, I don't think that they can force this push here.
So they do come up, they put a little bit of damage forward, but they back off, as you said. Found themselves in a tough situation, and will have to fall back to stop the creeps. We're going to start to pour in from the top lane here relatively soon. Struder going to be in charge of stopping the bottom lane from pushing too far forward. And BRB, Cornell University, gets back his 5 and heads into their opponent's jungle, led by none other than Cakes himself with the Daylist online. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah,
and back to the bottom lane. Cakes looks like he wants to try and get a pick here. There it is. Almost had it with the 2-shot, but not going to happen.
All right. They are going to engage you. Can I just point out, I don't understand if they're going to do this like really finicky pussycat long range chip strategy with the TA, why they did not buy a Dragonlance on her.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand how this strategy fits the build. Like, she's one-hitting entire waves of creeps. They can just do this. Just do it.
Doom's gonna go in deep, puts up the Doom on Void, not wanting him to come out with the Chrono. They're gonna go straight to the racks. Hobo putting some damage on Embers. Pretty bad though. Egg comes out. Again, Cake's going deep, gets hit with the ward, taking a lot of damage. Shakti's Doom, but he's got right click. They finish the job. They take 3.
No
They get 4. And the only one to get out is Clinks. They keep diving past the tower to get kills and getting ripped apart because of it.
If they get one
my
more
God.
of those, they're going to be in a position where they're starting to strip towers. And if they get one more after that, they're going to be in a position essentially even. They have a much better late game, and the net worth swing that just gave is like 2 core items. The Void now has Boots of Travel. The Sheepstick is up on the OD, right? Ags is about to be finished for the Witch Doctor. That's now an Ags. Life just got a lot more dangerous for Cornell. Remember I was saying there's such a thing as too patient? Well, these guys found it. And they are... Wow, this has got to be just Tilt City for Cornell.
Jeez Louise.
Like, we're talking 4th graders puking on their field trip.
Yeah.
This is... Yeah, the
They've dropped
Carney is telling them
they've
this,
dropped
gotta get
10,000
off.
gold in net worth in the last 4 minutes. That's
Yeah.
just not good. This is...
If they lose one more of those fights, seriously, the towers are going to start falling. If they lose 2 more, this is essentially an even game. Because 10,000 net worth lead at this stage in the game with this much net worth is not that big of a deal. It's 1/8 of the overall net worth of either team. So it's 1/16 of the net worth in the game. That's a pretty small faction of actualized worth. The biggest reason that you want that much advantage is just for buybacks.
I tell you what, man. I love a good comeback, but if Waterloo pulls this out and makes it to DreamHack, I'm going to have to buy them all a drink and to apologize for counting them out 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be right there with you. Though they do have 4 heroes that do not have buyback right.
All right.
So now's the time to go for Cornell.
So they go for the smoke. Hold on, we're going to get engagement. They go with the Chrono catch. Embers on the back. He's got nowhere to go. Solar puts up a track. Can they kill Embers in time? Oh, here comes the play from the Witch Doctor. The bounce is real all over the place. Goji's got the Doom. Wants to make the play. They get the double. This could be the end of it. Cornell in some serious trouble. We start to lose everyone. No, we lost Cakes. What the hell? Cornell keeps coming forward and keeps going back. 2 buybacks. Doom is down. Hobo TPs to safety. It went 3 for 3, but when you're Waterloo, that's a trade you're okay with, except maybe Cornell gets to have their Roche. So I don't know. Was that worth it for Waterloo?
They might lose because of it, but if
It had to be done, right?
yeah, I honestly, I think they would have been better off camping around and waiting till they saw that the Roche was started and then engaging. That because they need the choke point advantage. That's how they win these fights. It's how they've won every fight they've been winning. Without the choke point advantage, they don't have it. Though, I mean, Waterloo did pretty well that fight, and they came out way ahead in the net worth. Like, that was a 5,000 net worth swing, even with the Roche pickup. But they're going to be against supers now. Or, excuse me, megas.
Yep, they are. And that's an easy push. So pop the BKB, make sure that the Rex go down. And that will be all she wrote. Chronosphere comes out, makes a move here on Solar, but he doesn't have the right-click damage to burn Solar down. Realizes it, backs away. Cake's putting it on Real Hobo. Now he's going to back off. Nice force staff to safety. They get what they want, and they back off immediately. Let God's Strength run its course. And this is what they were trying to accomplish the whole time, was sort of get in there and just get those racks. Let the creeps win the game.
I think Cornell are aware, right, that the late game from Waterloo, it's better than the late game from Cornell. Like, Doom is good, but he's not, especially since this Doom did not go for like a refresher Ags build. His late game contribution to these fights is that he makes it slightly harder for one hero to contribute. And he does do damage, and he does have that negative armor and the flags, but he's not a core the same way that TA is a core, and he's definitely not a core the same way that the Spen or the OD. The damage output from the Witch Doctor more than offsets any gains that you get from the Oracle at a later stage in the game. So for Cornell, making sure that they had this advantage right here was crucial. The AoE from the Spen is not enough to to handle Megas for long. They need to get some Maelstroms up. Then they need to get it up like 20 minutes ago.
So, like we see all three lanes now pushing in because of the Megas doing their thing as they pour through the gaps. Meanwhile, it looks like Big Red Bears are going to group up in the mid position, start to move forward as a team. Ember's going towards the top lane, everybody else headed towards the middle position, except for Cakes, who said, I'm going to go farm a little bit, and now I'll join up with you guys. But she's going to have a double damage to show for it, which I'm sure she'll be very happy with as she brings that to the fight. That's going to be tough to deal with here.
Yeah, this is just a matter of time. Like, right now, Cornell really, they can just go in. They've got Megas, so even if they lose a fight, Waterloo are now several won fights away from being able to go out and strip towers. They can't. They need to at least have Maelstroms on some heroes or Battle Furies or something, so that they can defend the base without the spend. Until they have that, they're not going to be going out and getting anything done outside of their base. So Cornell can feel free to go in and take some loosey-goosey fights here.
Yep. Loosey-goosey, name of the game here is Cakes has 7 seconds left on his BKB, moves forward a little bit of backup from Praise the Sun, and Goji, whose Doom is off of cooldown. Let's see. So, what do you do here as Cornell? Do you just step back and let the Megas do their work, or do you try to find a way to get in there for the fight? Smoking
yeah, you need Cornell to come to you and to take him on a chip. So really, the only opportunity for a one fight is if Cornell starts to stream over these stairways together, and Waterloo take advantage, or ride around the tier 4s. If they get their opponents in an artificial choke point because all their opponents are trying to knock down the tier 4s together, then Waterloo's in pretty good shape in terms of their chances. But we've already seen from Cornell, they're very tactical with their positioning. They're not going to do that. They're going to have one hero attacking those tier 4s and 4 heroes waiting to support him from the outside of that choke point. This is a very dangerous space. Megas are a big problem, not just because Megas themselves are hard to take out, but it's because there are no choke points remaining for you to defend, which takes away all of your advantage as a defender.
All right, let's see where we're at here.
A lot of advantage as a defender.
2,000 gold, or 20,000 gold. Oh, let's go to the top lane. There's the pick off. That's game right there. Void knocked out, dropped down, and that should allow BRB
I don't know
to
what
come in
he was
and take
doing
him out.
There's just no. I mean, they were not very likely to win this game. He's out there without buyback.
Yeah.
No vision. Megas in base anyway. Even if he kills these Megas, he gets like 2 cents.
Hobo comes in. Hobo go down. Now Birdham's going to drop as well, putting in a lot of work from that ward, but will it be enough is the question. BKB is getting melted through. Physical damage just too strong. Hobo buys back. Phoenix buys back. Odie buys back. Hobo taking some serious damage from Embers, though. He's going to go down. Birdham back in. He drops out. Dieback. Buyback from the Phoenix, but to what end? Diebacks all around. They put up a valiant effort, but ultimately the GG comes out as the Ancient goes down. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to the Cornell University Big Red Bears as they advance to DreamHack. Asus, Republica Gamers, and CSL will see them float out to Austin so they compete in the LAN final. Make sure that you tune in for that. A big shout out to Twitch and Asus Rock for making this possible. My name's Toffees. You can find me at Toffees TV, and I'm joined here by Gorgon the Wonder Cow. Where can they find you, my friend?
Hey guys, you can find me over on Twitter at The Wonder Cow, and I just want to throw in a quick, really nice attempt at a comeback from Waterloo.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to throw that out. Like they played the end of that game fairly well.
They really did.
Even though they're not making it to DreamHack, this is the Alamo moment of CSL for me.
Absolutely.
I will remember Waterloo.
I will remember Waterloo. They did a wonderful job. Congratulations to them. Congratulations again to Cornell University. Come back Thursday night for the final round of 8 game as we determine exactly who will be joining us in Texas. Have a wonderful evening. I'll be hanging out on Twitch chat just for a little while in case you have questions or feedback. Thanks for spending your night with us. And as always, Toffees out. Thanks for spending your evening with us, guys. This is Toffees one last time. playing Fever Fever for you. And I tell you, sleep easy, and I'll see you on Thursday.
I've got this space inside my heart, and I need you to patch me up. I feel lost, I feel lost. Will you be my love? 'Cause I need you.